This was from Just a Tech Guy. We do share some of his particular tweets and so on. He states, probably they are tweeting about things they aren't involved with, right? Look at this, for instance, right? For all the people are saying, it's just strictly Ripple and nothing else, Max. You don't know what you're talking about. It's all malarkey. Here we go. Check out this particular quote, right? So it states, Mastercard is currently working with banks and merchants to tokenize a variety of assets, including deposits, which will be tracked on multiple public and private blockchains. Now, before we drew the particular, connection to, everybody was like focusing on Visa with Ripple, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I came out with a particular recorded video talking about, XRP, XLM, Cello, right? We had to include Cello. Then we had this other particular recorded video about the Bank of International Settlements, as well as the HM Treasury, and how, there's work being done with the likes of even Quant, right? And of course, there's one guy, and there's other people who will say, no, it's just strictly Ripple and so on. But of course, we really drew those connections beforehand for many months now. Now, instead of just Visa, now you see this with the likes of Mastercard. What is that all about? Why should it matter to you? Why should we even bring it up on the show? Well, let's talk about it. So, if anything, I'm going to show you this. And it comes up to this particular article. And if anything, this will definitely pound it home that much more for people saying there's no quant connection, because guess what, guys? There definitely is. So it states, quote, many of the world's biggest financial institutions are still banking on the underlying tech as the best way to build confidence with customers and with one another. Now, this originally came from Forbes, and look at the timestamp, right? Pretty recent, right? As of literally today. How Mastercard, Goldman Sachs, and other quote-unquote TradeFi titans are using a blockchain. As we know, crypto is in crisis, but many of the world's biggest financial institutions are still banking on the underlying tech as the best way to build confidence, which is that. And that is this right here. Let's blow it up. And if anything, first there were cars using ISO 8583, which is ISO numbers refer to, of course, international standards, messaging technology, which is 50 years old. Then real-time payments became real with ISO 222, and then came blockchain. And we said, okay, what would that solve? There is a whole list of real life problems out there that blockchain can solve. In late January, the 55-year-old Maybach, who's the guy that's in this particular Forbes article that they don't want us to see unless we subscribe, told analysts and shareholders that his company has surpassed a $2 billion tokenized transactions per month, which is up 38% in a year, and that MasterCard was enabling digital payments in 110 countries. The big benefit, less fraud. And that is the key thing, less fraud, right? Because if anything, you can, if you're having tokenized assets and it's tied to blockchain technology, it's not all about speed, right? It's also about some of the things you see right here. It says, today, tokenization at MasterCard means replacing the 16-digit number with your plastic credit card. There's a little bit more in regards to all this. But what I want to point out is the key highlight, that MasterCard was enabling digital payments in 110 countries, is up 38%. And the big benefit is just that, less fraud because of blockchain technology. Now, there's this whole thing about, how Quant was tied into this. It got chopped off. But I think it's pretty huge. And if anything, we'll have a particular update in regards to this. Again, I do apologize for it being chopped off. We'll get into a little bit more about this. But it is significant because now you are understanding that it's not just Visa. Of course, MasterCard is a big player and always has been. When people think of the likes of Visa, you really throw in MasterCard. So, again, we'll try to take more of a deeper dive into this. Hopefully, I can get a different outlet next time. And this comes from Anava Quanfi. I am following this particular person. It says, Quant is unlocking the power of DLTs for mass adoption. We know that. Any-to-any interconnectivity, the network effect of Quant will be monumental. This is a nice particular breakdown because this one, even though it's similar to the others, it's just, again, a different outline. But if anything, I went ahead and retweeted this. That way people can see it. But look at this. So obviously you have the connection to ISO standards and so on, right? This is ISO TC 307. They wrote this particular standard back in 2014. I believe got implemented in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. You have, for instance, the connection to not just what we have with APIs, but you have that connection you have for academic research forums and so on, right? You know, some big names like the Blockchain Consortium, or what Gilbert Verdian is part of, the Digital Pound Foundation. Look at some of these other ones, though. Technology companies taking Quant's technology to their clients, without their clients having a full understanding of what all this interoperability really is. Fujitsu, IBM, Intel, Oracle. The Oracle connection is huge, right? We're always talking about that. But on top of that, you have 5G digital telecommunication. I'm not a big fan of Comcast, but that's a big name. Samsung, obviously Cisco's huge. You know, I cannot enter a proper data center without seeing a giant Cisco switch or servers, you name it, right? On top of that, how about trade finance? We're always referring to XDC for the trade sector, and they're huge, right? But there's some other ones here other than XDC, right? DTCC, Marco Polo, WeTrade, Crowds. On top of that, we're talking about APIs. When it comes to Quant, they really stand out, right? So you have Zapier, and you even have, for instance, decentralized finance capital markets, LCX, ALBT, Chainlink. How about this, for instance? The CBDC connections. We already basically talked about numerous times, and I still can't believe how I see people want to state that there is no CBDC connection for the Quant. Are you kidding? Have you not done any research? The Bank of England, the Bank of International Settlements, we literally done a few deep dives in regards to some of these. LAC chain, that really stands out because if anything, Quant was doing some of these CBDCs long before anybody else was, dating back to what? Last March. The digital euro, public blockchains, some of the popular ones. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, Algo, BNB, IOTA, Cardano. How about the R3 enterprise blockchain use? You have Hyperledger, R3 Corda, Oracle, Ripple, XLM. It's pretty big. All right. I want to show you guys just a little bit more in regards to all this. And that is this particular interview with Gilbert Verdian. Shout out to Quant Papa, of course, who shared this. And if anything, look at what it says. Unlock the full potential of AI. A lot of you guys have been focusing a lot about AI lately. Singularity, that's doing well. AI is definitely trending. Doesn't necessarily matter if it's Chat GPT and so on. AI is definitely trending. So it says, unlock the full potential of AI with Quant over Ledger Network. Interconnect all AI tokens and networks for maximum impact. Don't just ride the AI hype, lead it. Quant, interconnect AI? Really? Even AI? Well, it's 2 minutes. Listen to this real quick. We'll just kick it back into the comments. Thanks for being here tonight at Crypto Talk Now. Please hit that like if you haven't done so already. And here we go.
Connect AI, it was mentioned with Ocean. AI has a really good convergence with blockchain, and we can allow that across all the chains.
What it's about is how do we interconnect using a secure channel to the disparate data sources to allow AI and big data to flourish. And we're quite excited with what can happen. And we've got client use cases we're already exploring in government, in aerospace, in healthcare as well, which we've got a couple of RFIs that we've been working on.
So and it can be used for hundreds and hundreds of use cases around AI, data. If you want to do an MDAP on payments, if you want to do an MDAP as an exchange, anything computes, if you want to create like an AWS equivalent on the Overledger network, all of this is possible. So QNT has just become that pure utility token that can be used for everything.
And then scale that up to a city. So imagine you're in a city and you're in a car, and that car knows that it's you. It tells the next car that I'm carrying this passenger, I need to go because there's an emergency, and every car gets out of the way so you can get to the hospital quicker. So we're just at the beginning of where we're heading with this exciting time, because machines will be able to communicate with machines, and for everyone to communicate, you need interoperability. I mean, why should a Tesla not be able to talk to a Mercedes autonomous vehicle to turn left? That's where we are today. But what we're allowing is any type of device to talk to any other type of device, to have true, 5G cities.
QNT token is at the core of everything that we're doing, hundreds and hundreds of use cases.
Safely interconnect big data sources to a decentralized world, but have interoperability, because if you're using, let's just say, imaging data from healthcare in one blockchain, and then using an EMR, that's a traditional database, it's just SQL, and then using something else on the third party, how do you get them to talk to each other? It's quite difficult. And how do you get them to talk together securely?
Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have not yet subscribed, do yourself a favor and subscribe for more information on the ISO 222 compliant tokens, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you are aware of the new videos when they come up. Max and I cover these ISOs, and we also have a live show every single night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in for that. You won't want to miss it. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next video.